Hello everyone, welcome to Ajibika podcast episode, and today we are going to be discussing democracy, policy making, and especially how the youth can contribute to this conversation. Hi, with me today I have to my right, and to my immediate left,
Kenya.
And my farther left,
Grace Murithi.
Okay, so today's panel is going to dive deep into democracy and everything you need to know about governance in Kenya. Okay, so Derek, tell us a bit about what you do, what you're about, and why you're here today.
My name is Derek once more, and I'm a data analyst. I work for an NGO in Machakos County, and today I'm here so that we can delve further into the topic of democracy and how we can reimagine it and how we can make our country more democratic.
Okay, and to the lady over there, Grace.
Thank you so much. So my name is Grace Murithi. I am a lawyer, and I'm very passionate about governance matters, public policy. So I'm excited to be here today to see what exactly is reimagining democracy. I'm excited. Thank you.
We are excited to have you. Kenya. Yes.
Thank you. I'm Derek Kenya. We're part of Ajibika alumni and a grant writer for a non-governmental organization called Giving Light Society, which is based in Kasarani and Kibera. I mostly write project proposals, and we try to integrate our vision on SRHR and mental health on some of the issues incumbing youth within those areas. And I'm really excited to try to also understand, as we head towards a more political climate in the near future, what democracy actually means and how youth can be more engaged. But thank you so much for involving.
Okay, thank you everyone. And finally, I am Wendy Nkunja, a HR professional specializing in training and development and a mental health advocate. So now that we're done with the first rule of engagement, which is introducing ourselves, we'll start on a game here. So, are you guys ready?
Yes.
All right. So you'll pick one, read for us, and then answer, and possibly invite someone to answer. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Pick one. Grace?
Okay.
All right. Have you read your questions?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
This is actually...
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, Kenya, start us off.
Oh my God, I wish you hadn't started with me.
Okay.
If you had to pitch democracy to a 10-year-old, what cartoon will you use?
Cartoon.
This is a very interesting question.
Yeah.
Because while I was growing up, we mostly just watched Ben 10, Samurai Jack. So it's a bit difficult for me to come up with a specific show that I felt was or showcased the democracy. Mm-hmm. So maybe I would like to invite other people that I also think I need to brainstorm. Kiasi, because nakumbuka tu Ben 10, like the first thing I saw cartoon Ben 10. So,
okay, Kenya, before you invite someone to answer that question, how would you describe democracy to a 10-year-old? Yeah.
I think that's it. Okay. I will describe it as an ability to choose the leader that person wants, that 10-year-old wants. Because maybe for some very good reason, that 10-year-old has ambitions for what the community wants to look like, for their vision. And it's only plausible for that to happen within a governmental institution through democracy. So I think for me, the best way that I would be able to describe to a 10-year-old is democracy is the ability for you to choose the leader that you actually want. And that can make the right decisions for you.
Okay. I already have so many follow-up questions, but we will not finish this game if I continue like this. So invite someone to answer your question.
I think, Grace, you can go. Do you have any cartoon?
Cartoon is very difficult one to think of right now. But just to start with the latter, the question you asked.
Yes.
Because the reason why I can't choose one is because it's more multifaceted. It's like a layer of things, and that there's a lot of complexities to what democracy really is. But I like the second question as well. How would I describe democracy to a 10-year-old?
Yes.
And what came to mind is being able to participate in the decisions and being there at the seat of the table, not someone else coming there and telling you, okay, this is what exactly it is, this is how it should be, but not being directly involved. So an aspect, I'd explain to a child, it's an aspect of being involved in the process making, being involved in things that in policies that make these decisions. And so democracy to a 10-year-old, I'd like them to understand, is actually more of looking at the bigger picture, while at the same time at the small things that are actually misinterpreted, and that practically makes sense, and not just by writing, not just by word of mouth, by putting things on paper, but actually actualizing it and having sort of like a system to it. So I'd like them to understand, just be involved in the process, whatever it is. Even if you're sharing a sweet or biscuits in class or your birthday, be involved in the process, and that makes sense to me. Yeah.
Okay, just a quick one, maybe to a bit of digression. Will you say to a 10-year-old, involving them in decision making, so the school wants to change their school uniform, for them to be involved? Should they send their prefects to give their suggestions, whether we want to go purple, blue, or should we just be informed, okay, as from next term, we are coming blue uniforms? How do you think at their level, democracy looks like? There are small units of leadership.
And I really like that question because it really digs down into exactly how can we do this practically, even with the example of school. And there's something known as the transaction time. I do acknowledge that there's a transaction cost.
Yes.
For example, if we were to go with a prefect being sent or a decision being made, that means that it lessens the time.
Yes.
Facts. It lessens the time. From the time we want to get this uniform out there, whereas trying to get everyone to being involved in the process.
Yes.
And that's why we need to reimagine, because that's not all about it. It doesn't mean now it has to involve everybody in all decisions. And my answer to that, to cut the long story short, let's have a structure.
A structure.
Let's have a structure. In that, does the school want to have blue or red? Okay. So what does Form 3 West, Form 4 West, y'all know what I'm saying? Form 4 West, if you're on TikTok, you know Krago, but yeah. If that class, is there a structure from the basic level? By the time we're deciding about the colors, there are other things that are not put into place.
Yeah.
Can we have people heading those small levels? And so, because it's so blanket to say black or white, red or blue. Yeah, and there are many ways to do that. And I'm very glad to talk about with my colleagues here on those here. So thank you.
All right. Today, what's your question?
Will the youth trust AI more than IBC to run elections?
Trust. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just hallucinating, but you can go through.
Yeah.
So, oh man. Well, AI, I don't think we can trust AI at the moment because AI just came recently. Yeah. But given what's happens in this
interesting.
country,
But I have a question for you just directly.
Yeah.
Kenya was reported to be the first global ranking ChatGPT using country by 42%.
Yeah.
So what's your view, especially Kenya?
I don't know, maybe we don't love learning so much, and we don't like thinking. I know Kenyans with shortcuts all the time.
AI is a tool.
And AI is a tool. Yeah. So I think we will not trust AI because it's still being developed. And but given what happens in this country in the election year, I think given a choice, Kenyans will go for AI because you don't trust the people that we have. That is, in 2007 you saw what happened, which led to post-election violence. In 2013, still, even though the court upheld the elections, people were not satisfied. 2017, the court nullified the election, Maraga nullified the election. 2022 still, I personally was not satisfied with the results and what happened, and I don't think I can trust the people who are going to conduct
Already
I don't-
rendered as hopeless.
yeah, man, I don't trust them because in Kenya, when people are being given positions, they are more political appointments rather than they're not appointed based on merit. They are political. So I'm not surprised, and I will not be naive to say I believe politicians are there, and the ABC chairman could be just a puppet, and there's someone else pulling the strings. Yeah. So let me pass it over to Kinywa to say something on this.
AI.
I think for me, AI has, on the basis of what I've used, AI has a tendency to hallucinate and to create very crazy results, like very out of the blue, unimaginable like results, like completely out of the blue. And I don't know, it feels, because the way AI is made, is it mostly supposed to predict the next wording, like, because it's usually taken from a vast amount of data, and it's supposed to in itself predict what will be the next outcome. So exactly, in patterns. But Kenyans have this tendency, like Derek has said, to use shortcuts. So I feel, especially in the IBC claim, because IBC are not really trusted as an institution, because even until now, it's only until recently that the IBC chair and the whole committee was appointed by the president, and even though they've been appointed, there's still that claim, there's still the sense of not everyone is accustomed to those appointments. Not everyone feels like they're satisfied on those appointments because they're not really representatives. Like it felt like if you ask most Kenyan youths about those representatives that were the people that were appointed, just like Derek said, it feels more political. It feels like they just made the show of going to citizen, like citizen, you'll go and see those people having those debates, but it felt more of a formal process that was just being made to cover up the actual people, because in Kenya there's a tendency to just rig and to further facilitate people who you have, or people that have connections with leaders, either tribal or relative related. So for me, I think trusting AI right now is a huge step. Because every time I use AI, it just hallucinates. It creates, I don't know. For me, maybe other people have other information, but I don't think so. AI is just uncreative, dull.
Wait,
Which
no
AI?
slander.
Which AI?
No AI slander will be.
Which AI are you using, man? No, so which AI are you using?
AI is uncreative. AI is uncreative. AI mostly, if you ask it to come up with, how do you say this? Come up with a creative solution for like for example, for the ABC, if you were to tell it to come up with a solution to the mechanism or an act to something, it'll just pop up something completely absurd that is not even possible, like politically. Like if you were to go and take, because I used AI on finance bill, and some of the oh my god, it just started to hallucinate. Let me give you an example. I think the best example was I was asking it to come up with solutions to one of the excess duties that were being placed. So it was those excess duties are tax imposed on imported goods or manufactured goods in Kenya. And it was just generating baffling, I don't know, it was just generating stuff that were not actually feasible. And it looked really feasible, like the writing in itself feels flaccid, like it feels like it's content that you would that you want to write, but when you actually try to read what AI is saying, it doesn't make sense. So
I feel like we are over reliant on AI, but it is a tool, like I said first, and depending on the prompt you give it. If you remain as vague, it'll give you vague. If you prompt it to give you specific instances, it will do so with examples and instances in Kenya, so that we don't digress and get into more of AI. Grace, read us your question.
Before I even read, let me just add on that. I agree what my colleagues are saying.
Yeah.
And even what you said, I want to emphasize on AI is as good as you feed it.
Yes.
So it's the input and output. And it's here to complement. And that's really a funny question. It's here to complement rather than replace actually
Overtake,
human.
yeah.
And so I feel like if it's the IEBC that we're asking whether AI can learn on that, it's again the structure. The people are there, but what's the output? AI will. Let me tell you right now. In 2 seconds, if we Google like, where are we, or where are we, and they may say, the AI may say we're in Nairobi. But if I say, okay, I'm somewhere, there are chairs, there are gazebos around, it will be more specific, and in 2 seconds it will bring that output. Okay, and so it challenges us and it gives us a perspective of trying to rewire our mind into, okay, I like that question because it shows that IBC, there's a little of lag maybe, or a gap, and so whatever you give it is what it gives you.
Gives back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have a very funny question. It says, what's the funniest way you've seen young people express politics? Funniest way you've seen young people express politics?
Amazing. Yeah, we can start with it.
Maybe someone else can start.
There's this challenge on TikTok, on Reels, TikTok, Instagram. You see a guy dancing, and he's imitating a politician. Maybe he's in Kenya or another country.
Yeah.
And you can see, as in, for example, there's this one that was saying how I move knowing I've stolen money.
Yeah.
Yes. Corrupt TikTok.
Corrupt TikTok.
That is the slant of TikTok is real.
Yeah, I think I like that one.
Yeah, and I think the sarcasm is therapy to Kenyans.
True.
Like
How we are coping.
the way we cope with sarcasm, like especially during the protest last year and this year, I mean, hands down.
My favorite was kusalimia watu.
Oh yeah,
I loved it.
Yes.
Especially in church, you'd see a pastor say something and say like, no, staki kusalimiwa. Like I feel like there was a bit of fear that was related to doing that time. Kusalimiwa. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. Back to you. What's your question? Oh, you've read us. Okay, so more questions.
Lyric start.
We want to meet the tutataka kusalimia mwenye ameandika hizi maswali.
By the way,
Tutataka kusalimia.
asalimiwe.
Which camera?
Provocative. Let's go.
Okay, if voting came with a free concert ticket, will turn out double. Will the turn out double if voting came with a free concert ticket?
For
Depends who's presenting the concert.
Soulfest. It's a Soulfest concert.
For sure.
Yeah, they attach voting and Soulfest concert.
Yeah. So I think the turnout will double. Kenyans will share,
Yeah. You remember when you had the finance bill and there was like a CBD show or something?
Yeah.
And people are playing like the balls and I'm just like, yes. This
Even the
is our
matatu
version.
sector. Yeah.
So with us, squeezing the media is labeling us Gen Z. Every young person is like Gen Z. Of course, yeah, it's a Gen Z. But I don't like the labeling. But Gen Z with Shere, we definitely turn out to vote in huge numbers, and then we'll go party later on. So, and I think it's a I don't think it's a bad thing. It's a cultural thing, and it's how we. Let me pass it over to Derek.
Before we go on, do we all agree that the turnout will be better?
Yes, I do agree. And the reason is because that question shows that there's a gap in there's a low turnout in the past years during elections. But I feel like this year is gonna change because of the punitive bills you've been receiving, arguably, and one of the things I'd say, they would turn up more, and this brings the question of, is there enough civic education?
And also,
and how is it being given? Yeah, what
what's
are the
priority here?
Yeah.
If introducing a concert ticket will make the turnout, will double the turnout. So what is the priority here?
And
Why can't voting by itself be our great priority, that without concert or anything, we expect that the numbers will be great. Now with an incentive of a concert, we are, all of us can agree that the turnout will be doubled. Like, what's the priority?
The priority is basically the youth, and having that you're forming a large majority in the Kenyan population, you'll find that we're not saying that without the concert or incentive, it's not going to happen, because people right now know their rights. They know they are awoke like never before, you know. They know exactly what is not happening, what is not supposed to happen. The Shah, recently the Shah saga and all of that. But what we are saying, there's an aspect of population that do not know exactly why is voting helping me, okay? There's that population. Why should I wake up to go queue a long line?
Yeah.
And so the incentive would it's more of like being heard as the youth. Like it's more participatory to actually being heard, and what do we actually love? So we are not saying that it's going to, and it's meaning that the voting system alone, people cannot vote, but we're just saying it's a good incentive. It shows that people are being heard. Yeah.
This question speaks to, it's talking about voter apathy.
Exactly.
And now this question brings out the fact that, you know, the young people in Kenya, they will not take part in the electoral process, mostly because most of them are not employed. Most of them, they don't trust the democratic processes, the political processes. They don't trust. It is, you know, we've heard politicians say empty promises. They don't believe. They are tired with the political class and the way
disillusionment.
Disillusionment. That's the word. That's the right word. They are disillusioned, and therefore they won't take part in this thing. So
they won't take part. I agree.
Yeah, what's the point? Especially the small percentage that is, and you know, the mentality is contagious. That there's no difference. Vote won't make a difference. So una vote, they've already decided. You know, you know, that's what that small percentage is telling the other percentage that's insisting on lazima tutatokea. You know, we must go vote. You know, and then there's this other percentage that's like, what for? What's the reason? What difference will it make? So, which brings me to another question while we're still on that. What barriers do youth face in participating fully in Kenya's democratic processes, such as voting? What barriers are there? Who'd like to go first? Yeah.
Can go first and then you can go on to the video. But anyways, let's start from our basic structure.
Yes.
Which is a constitution. We have Article 55 that basically talks about there needs to be a participatory or youth inclusion in the things that we are doing, and the government is actually should spearhead that or actualize that. So that's the promise that we were given in 2010 in the promulgation of the Constitution, but there's little to no structure with that. So voting is one. Maybe my colleagues can talk about voting, but also I'll talk about the aspect of being engaged in running for like offices and these things. You'll find that one of the barrier is the cost.
Yeah,
the cost of
campaign
these
budget.
things. And that's why you remember last year, I think there was that discourse on someone to come up and wachangiwe and it would form the campaign basis and all of that. There's definitely the cost is high. There's a lot of gatekeeping in these parties. The nominations, the way these nominations are run, and whoever gets to get there can't be afforded by a youth or like a normal someone who is under-resourced, you know, someone who is under-resourced, someone who's not been getting money or stealing money. And so there's a lot of gatekeeping and political patronage from this.
True, very
and that's a huge challenge. That's a huge challenge.
And just to show the importance of civic education, do you know, I recently learned that there's a campaign budget. Like, I just learned that people are given. Yeah, you see, so imagine someone aspiring to lead, but they're like, where will I get all this money to, to walk around and, tell people about my manifesto and all that. I didn't know there was a budget for that. I didn't know. Oh my God.
So the budget comes from the political party.
That's exactly.
But then the
Ah.
political party is a lot of patronage and gatekeeping. So getting there also it's a
lot.
problem.
Do you think we should cap
Really
how
hard.
much someone should use in campaign? Because
Yeah.
they use a lot. And then
Yeah.
they go into government and, find ways to return
Actually,
their
there's a-
money. It's like an investment.
There's
Yeah.
a cap. There's a cap. So
There's a cap.
I think there's
Exactly,
a cap.
yeah, there's a cap in the an act,
An act.
political act, something political act.
Related to IBC.
Exactly, but it's there, but like it's not implemented.
See,
Like-
the reason why me and you should be following democracy
Yeah.
conversations. Now we know there's a cap.
There's a cap.
Okay, sorry to digress a bit. The question was on barriers youth are facing when it comes to democratic processes such as voting. Or what is a barrier you can think of?
I think for me also there's the cultural barriers because Kenyans, especially in our history, we've known to be divided into ethnic clashes, which really creates a barrier in terms of also, especially in the political parties, because you'll find that most political parties are mostly affiliated to a specific tribe, and like just Derek said, there's that patronage. There's if I want to vie for a certain seat, I have to, and I'm from this tribe, I have to join this specific party. And if I join this specific party because of my own volition, my own interest, then it becomes now you when you enter the party, you do what they want, not what you are insisting on doing. They give you the funds, true, but at the end of the day, once you get into office, it's them that control. It's them that have the say. So I think also culturally, we need to make a shift towards less tribalistic sense. And I think youths are really doing that through the social media platforms like TikTok. And also we saw that in the Reject Finance Bill 2024. There was the leaderless, no tribe.
Tribeless,
Yeah.
faceless.
Exactly. It was very well coordinated.
Yeah.
So I think we need to see more of that. But
Exactly.
tribal is still an issue, especially in the party sense, because those are the ones that nominate candidates, and those are the ones that actually choose who's
Not
going to be in
based
the
on
ballot
merit,
paper. Exactly.
but rather, if we come from the same place. And I do agree. Okay, someone said something I was following a conversation earlier today, and someone said, now that they've seen they can't divide us in tribes, now what they're doing is class. Say now when they say, actually this Gen
Oh my
Zs,
goodness.
they use Uber, they eat KFC, they have iPhones.
And that's
What-
what
so
I've been
now-
following.
Yeah.
I've been seeing even the
It's-
news.
Yeah.
Gen Z, it's like they are profiling us.
Yes, now they want to
Yes.
use that
Gen Z
to
does.
divide us.
Yeah.
Now that tribe is not working,
Yeah.
class now.
Yeah. And it's so absurd to think about it. Because at the very core, the rights of the people, I mean, the people shall, we the people.
We the
Yeah.
people.
We are the sovereign, you
Yeah.
know? At the very core of at the very least, the needs of the people should actually come first.
And-
Like, yeah, they have the right to everything.
Yeah. And to speak on that profiling, you see this guy from Meru, the hacker.
Yeah, exactly. They were funding 11.9 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you see the way the news media, highlighted the way they reported the news, they reported like a Gen Z hacker. Instead of saying a hacker has been found, stealing money from a betting company. Why do they have to put the Gen Z thing? So
That's actually that's an astute
labels are
observation.
labeled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even in corporate spaces, you Slack, say we are 3 of us and one is a millennial. Trust me, it's a Gen Z matter. This Gen Z
Yeah, you clock out at
ungovernable. They're ungovernable. Yeah. Okay, so now let me just ask this before we continue with the questions. And what does reimagining democracy look like? What does it mean to you? And how do you see youths contributing to this? Reimagining. Let's think of a utopia Kenya, where things are working, systems are working for us. Like, what does that look like? And how can we take a step towards it? How can we contribute?
Let me go first because
Yeah.
you said something on. No, I think you're the one who said something
Yes.
on. We have laws, but they are not working. So for me, in an ideal setting,
Yes.
or if I reimagine democracy in this country, I would want laws to work.
Laws to
I would
work.
want laws to work, and I would want this country to I would want we shift the mindset. The Kenyans shift the mindset from being, voting and going away
Yeah.
to being more to taking more part in democratic processes.
Yeah.
So I would want us to shift more from the electoral thing and waiting for the next 5 years and to be more participatory people in what is happening in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
For it not to be a trending topic,
Yeah.
a wave that comes and passes,
Yeah.
but rather a lifestyle we have. We can hold our leaders accountable.
we can hold them
On a daily
accountable.
basis,
We can we have the rule of law prevailing over everything else.
Yeah.
And the people being really part of the process. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like that. And it draws the question of, are there budgets to these things? And of course, I know there are budgets to like public participation
Yeah.
and how people are being involved in these small things. And I like what he said in that voting, democracy, most citizens in Kenya think it only comes after
voting.
5 years,
Yeah.
just voting,
Yeah.
voting and voting. But I feel like that's why there needs to be a very, very strong civic transparency in explaining exactly, okay, like what you said about the budgetary thing.
Yeah.
Can we have money that is being, or funds that is being allocated, and they're very operational to actually teaching, okay, how within the small units of county level, district level, etc., of showing, okay, how do you run a budget? How do you look at the county? How can we look at the county and parliaments and see, okay, this one, the budget that has been brought, it's overboard, etc. So I think there's a lot of, we need to quit the empty promises that we are getting from these leaders and just operate it and have systems and fund it if need be. Yeah. So.
Exactly.
Just to
But
add,
I'm wondering, is it the IBC that's supposed to do the civic education?
it's mostly IBC
Yeah.
and the NGOs, but it's done
And the
very
legislature,
shadily.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's done very shadily because
Yeah, so
it's
It's supposed to do civic awareness.
In their own capacity, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Their own capacity, but they want to thrive on our ignorance.
Yeah, for example,
Very
if they
true.
make a law.
Very true. They thrive on our ignorance.
Exactly. If they make a law and then Parliament, it should not just be in the chambers of Parliament. Can it be? Is there a way? Like there you saw the finance bill.
Yeah.
It was easily circulated, and there are people explaining that, and so everyone has to their capacity. They have a way of making this civic because the money is there for paying taxes. So I don't.
Or maybe, okay, now that I'm seated with professionals, maybe you can explain to me why. Democracy is by the people for the people, but then the person I'm chosen as a representative is passing a bill I did not agree to. Maybe explain that to me. What's that about?
I think it's let's say now, for example, we are complaining that there's not enough water here.
Yes.
And we have given our grievances to the people we elected and who are nominated
To represent.
to represent us. So they reach Parliament, but there are different stages. There's a first reading, second reading, there's a committee stage. That there's a lot of processes that follow by. And so if you guys remember when during the finance bill, at some point, because we were looking at the social media platforms of these people who are this parliament, especially those who are like parliamentarians at the same time they're like celebrities. At the beginning, they might be like yes to the finance bill, or like no to the finance bill. But the question is, why is it at some point to the tail end, almost when it's being amended, they change the cause? So there's a lot of vagueness, and I do hear your frustration.
Yeah.
It means there's a lot of vagueness and ambiguity that is not let out in public. And so we wonder, okay, then tulikuwa na wewe hapa tumesema tunafanya
hivi,
tuko yes ama
tukafika
tuko no.
mbele.
Tumefika mbele, it's crapped off.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of fraudulent and ambiguity that happens that doesn't allow transparency from the citizen perspective.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So whose question are we on now?
Okay. My question is, okay, if you were president for one day, what would you ban immediately?
I feel strongly. Can I go first?
Yes.
And cut salary in half like this. Sha.
Exactly.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just cut them.
Shui, half.
Yeah.
Like I just cut these salaries because why?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go. Now you can answer your question.
I can see people are angry. What to jump
Mbona
to sana. Tumejump to sana. But I think, yeah, half is even an understatement. Like, even even more than that.
If
Yeah.
I was president, the highest earning official would be 500,000.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's highest earning.
Me,
Yeah,
the,
that would be you.
And that would be me.
the immediate one is police brutality, guys.
Yeah.
Police brutality. Let people go to the streets and just peacefully protest.
Yeah.
And yeah, police brutality.
Without fear
so
of abduction.
I would ban police brutality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the cry we have as citizens of Kenya.
Very important. You should be president.
Yeah.
Aspiring 20.
Yes, Dave. Same question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, as just being the president, I'll ban the president's ability to change some of the laws without proper proper intake from the parliament. Because you're finding that the president had so much power, especially in the Finance Bill 2024, and also in other sectors of the act and bills, that he can just conjure up entire taxes and just place them, and it creates too much power within the office, because there's supposed to be checks, but as you can see currently in the country, the judiciary and the other legislature, they're being used by the executive to push its own agenda. So I think I will put more checks and balances within the seat.
Yeah,
of the president.
I like that. That's so real.
Very important.
So, for me, banning is I can't think of something that I would ban because I'm thinking of corruption.
But it's that, yeah.
The problem that we have is that the people who are corrupt, the institutions that are supposed to make sure that they don't end up even in a political seat, like the IBC, anyone with an integrity should not be vying. But we have them vying. Anyone with a case pending, even a criminal, we have people vying with criminal cases. No.
Yes. And and the EACC.
I don't think even ICC, we had an ICC person before.
Yeah.
And they are vying for president. So I think I will do something. Instead of banning, I think I will change the country from the imperial presidency system of governance to a parliamentary system of governance.
I like that.
One. I think parliamentary countries that are run by parliaments, and then you have the president acting more of having more of a ceremonial role. They work. Democracy is like the British. The British, and in America the presidency works because they have a very strong parliament, the Congress. But in this country, imperial presidency does not work. We can see. Clearly see it.
Yeah.
I think you should all buy.
Yeah, another thing I'd ban is the way people wait in public services.
Yeah.
Offices, yeah. The frustration is real.
I have
Yeah, like systems to work, to be executed, very quickly.
Okay. I love that very much. Okay, so do you think youths are engaged enough in democratic processes? Do you think they're engaged enough? Yes?
I think the way that question is framed usually is wrong, because youths are not engaged. You're not supposed to look at the engagement in terms of we go for barazas, the youth go and talk to their MCs. No, it's about the mode of participation. And you've clearly seen that through the Finance Bill, Reject Finance Bill 2024, Reject Finance Bill 2025, the Ojwang case, the police brutality cases. Most of the engagement that youths are mostly dealing with are through Twitter, WhatsApp, and other social media platforms. So if you're looking at it in the traditional sense of youths are not engaged, you'll say yes, but that's not. I don't think that's the ideal way of putting it, because youths have really transitioned into creating their own forms, their own systems that work for them. And you've clearly seen that, especially in TikTok, where if they're not going, if IBC or if someone is going to come and explain to them from Parliament what what this tax is, what this clause that's being added in the finance bill means, then someone else is going to take the initiative to create a video. Someone else is going to create an AI like Sharia you can put that a document like the finance bill or any bill or any act, and it will give you very good detailed analysis of what that means. And it can even be translated into Swahili, into Sheng. So I think youths are not traditionally, in the sense, yes, they're not engaged, but the level of engagement, their mode of engagement is different because they use Twitter, they use Instagram, they have their own form. They've created their own form because they don't trust these institutions. The level of trust within the current institutions are quite low. So the transition towards the new systems that they themselves have created really works for them. And I think that's for me personally is what they're really pushing towards, because that's the only way, that's the only metrics. You don't use metrics. You're not going to tell youth Gen Z that the metrics we're going to use ni how many people went to a community baraza. Zero. Youths are you're not going to find them. We went to Kasarani for a community baraza recently for the annual development plan. There were barely any youths. And that's not their own platform. They've created their own platforms that they can use to express their ideas. Because you just go there and just like we were in Kasarani, you'll go there, you find that committee already has a planned structure, they already planned the whole thing, they've already set up everything. And there's an agenda already set up.
Yeah.
So you'll go there and you'll hear people coming up with what they'd like, but that's not what's going to happen. And youths have gone through that system of continuous apathy. They go there, they present their solutions, they're rejected, or don't even heard of. So youths decided that if these systems are not going to work, we're just going to do away with them and create our own, and those are the ones that are currently working. So I'm really proud of how we've
our engagement.
Yeah, exactly.
Our
So I think the question should be, how have you, what modes of engagement have youths transitions to, because they're currently not seen in these traditional means of engagement.
Okay, I am not. I agree totally agree. But as much as youth are the majority in Kenya, we also need to onboard these other generations. And where will you find them? I like the engagement, how engaged we are on social media and those platforms. But like even matters representation, we are allowed on X, but like, do we have someone representing us? And there's a question here I'd like to tie to that. Do you believe young people have enough representation in political and decision-making spaces? Yeah. If you won't turn up for a baraza and go inform those people in that baraza what you think, what should be happening and stuff like that, it sort of feels like we are creating a bubble for Gen Z and only Gen Z. You see, so your mom is not on X. You see, but I want it to be, I'd like for it, now my ideal reimagining democracy is for us to be on board. Even these generational differences where you are Gen Z, you are millennial, you're this, it's now becoming a dividing factor. Let it not be a space that only this group is thriving, but if those old people, they believe in kinsmen, in meeting and talking, in this, that's how it's been since in the old age, and now we are coming in where we can have a whole discussion live, no meeting room, no budget, no nothing. We can hold a sustainable conversation. But I'd like for us to onboard these other generations, those who are willing to move forward with us, you know. You wanted to say something?
I wanted to comment on what Derek was saying. I wanted to add on to what you were saying. That I think we, the youth in this country, we are more vocal, but we are not really engaged in the democratic. You know, the question is speaking about democracy.
Democratic processes.
Yeah, so we are vocal. We express our political dissatisfaction on how things are being done in governance. But taking part in democratic processes is where we draw the line. And I also don't want to blame the youth fully. That that they don't really care about this country. They care about the country.
They care, and that's why we're having this conversation. Yes.
But I think so. I'm blaming the government and the people in power for putting systematic barriers to ensure they do not really take part in this. And I would say that through, if you look at the parliament in our country, I don't think there's someone below 35. I don't think so.
They're there, but a very small number.
There are 31 members of parliament, that are below that 5. But that's in terms of 349, that's very few.
Yeah.
And they're not representation, because 75% of youths, especially the or unemployed youths, so they are representing a small majority.
A small majority, and we are many.
70%.
70%. And and I think I blame that on the system, on the barriers that have been set by the political class to ensure that they don't really penetrate to get into this position. So we are underengaged in the political process.
But we are on our way there. We've started. I really like what he has said. Creating these spaces. It's a new time. You can even feel it in the air. It's changes coming. Changes here.
Change is coming, and I think at some point maybe we should just do another mega demonstration like the June 25th one.
Yeah.
Just shake the foundations of these barriers.
I have a question, just to shake things up kidogo. I like using this example a lot because it shows at grassroots level. It demonstrates what happens up there. So you're in school. The two of us are not in leadership. We're not captains. Yeah, the two of them are captains. Yeah, so we are with the majority of the students. And during breakfast, they each get a loaf of bread. We get slices of bread. Okay. Imagine it. We are imagining a scenario here. So these captains, are getting loaves of bread. Let's even say loaves, And for example, you've gotten that, that small piece of bread. If you went to boarding, you've gotten that small piece of bread, yeah? Yeah. And then we're always complaining. And they have a distinguishing factor. Their uniforms are better. They have blazers. They have this, okay? Different. You see? Factor that in. Sisi ni common wananchi in this school. Them, they're the leaders, okay? They have trips. Per term, trips to go somewhere relax, because they've been doing a lot of work which we can't even tell what is. Writing noisemakers and what, So you can imagine that. Now change it. We go into the next year and we are elected as captains. And now we are eating loaves. And now all of a sudden it's okay. We are having bread. It's okay. We are enjoying extra bread, We are wearing our ties and our blazers. We are going for trips and planning these trips. And all of a sudden now we are quiet. Now those wananchi wanateta timbona prefects wanakula mikate. We used to be them. And now we are captains. And now we are, it's okay now. We are here. We are enjoying it. Do you think most people are complaining about governance because they're not benefiting from, if they're not the ones receiving the wealth, creating wealth? Do you think it's more impact based, or do you think this is rather selfish? Like if you were there, if your dad, you're Charlene now, your dad was leading, would it be any different? Will you still have wealth and still think, no, this is not right? There's a child somewhere that deserves education, that's not going to school, doesn't have a proper meal. Because they say leaders are a reflection of the people, right? These are not aliens. They're not aliens. These are our people. They are, they are our representatives up there. What do you guys think of that?
I think it boils down to the mindset. And there's a lot of root cause things that are just not the surface level things we're used to, like, okay, there's corruption, there's this 1 billion saga, etc. And so the mindset of the people also really matters a lot and contributes to that. And the cultural organization, the systematic culture of an organization, or even the professional or ethical. And so in that case, it means like, unless you change the mindset, and I think that's what Gen Z have been trying to do. Unless you change the mindset, I think it's very easy to just keep rotating and going over the same loop again and again. And so it calls for a lot of things. Number one, it calls for a lot of mindset change. And how does that work? Can people, and the first question was on, you remember the question you asked on the concert? And whether people would, if they got an incentive, they'd go. Yeah. And so it calls for doing things differently a bit, like doing things differently, if like it's training on, let's say, the Constitution. is there trainings that happen about on a basic level, like on TikTok, for example,
Yeah.
or on Twitter, like randomly, you know? So I feel like the gap is in the mindset, and the mindset is a product of not having enough civic education. So the
Civic
same norms, the
education.
same patterns, the same stereotypes.
Of course, they'll create the same leaders.
They'll create the same leaders.
Yes.
So yeah, even me, when I get that, when I'm a prefect,
Mm-hmm.
I remember it's a very good example because in my early years I was not a prefect, and then at the
You
end
became a prefect?
I became a prefect.
And you forgot totally.
I did not forget. I did not forget. I can say I did not forget for sure. Yes, that one I can say I did not
I
forget.
wanted to say something.
But it's very easy to. It's very easy to.
Okay.
The Raila Odinga, most of the time we like saying that we fought for our independence,
Mm-hmm.
and then we started fighting for our democracy,
Mm-hmm.
and then we tried and create a very strong democratic country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the next fight usually says is the next fight should be on economic equality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we equalize this country economically, this thing about the political class being oppressive will end. Because the moment people are able to make their own money, live their own lives, they become so detached with what's happening.
Yeah.
And also you make things, if the political class make things work, people in government, they make sure there are roads, there are hospitals, schools are working, capitation is there.
Yeah.
Things will work, and people won't really care much about what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
As much as I'm enjoying this conversation very much, let's try and wrap up. Quick one. Give the youth, the people watching or listening, a call to action. Now that we've talked about or highlighted problems and democratic issues and loopholes and gaps, what's the solution? Very quickly, briefly, tell us something. Tell someone something. Grace.
Okay. So first of all, there are continuous voters registration. I think it was open. It's going to be open on 29 September. Go and register. If you've not registered, that's the first step. And another call to action, I would say, is let's try and see how we can use our own platform and our own capacity, wherever you are, whatever profession you're in, whatever work you're doing, just try and look at the system, because we say that we have to change what is within us and it is going to be seen. So I think it's just using our platforms as tools and as just creating systems and environments that can promote more participatory and more inclusiveness. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Kenyo?
Personally, for me, there is a sense of disillusionment from the youth
Yes.
about voting, and my clarion call will be to channel that frustration into energy. Use that energy to create platforms, not just for going and creating noise or going and creating activism, but actually participating in the governance frameworks. So using Twitter Spaces to have more information on, like, Access to Information Act, which will enable people, normal people like you and me, to retrieve reports, to retrieve information about how your money is being handled, whether in the county aspect, whether in the budget aspects, in any aspect. There's an Access to Information Act 2016 within our country, and it's mandated to give in any institution, public institution, any information, whether it be policy, data. So it's very, very important that youth channel that hatred, that, there's that sense of voter apathy, that and cynicism really, that youths are having, and we really need to channel that energy into creating solutions and to creating other systems, or using the systems that youths are already accustomed to, like social media, to gain more access. We've seen recently I've seen several activists using SHA's own medical website and pinpointing geophysical tag on the hospital or on the clinic, and they've checked the number of patients maybe that have been there, the number of hospital beds, the equipment, how much money has been going through. You see, they're using social media platforms, they're using websites, they're using cloud computing, they're using all this new technology to create or to find solutions that otherwise wouldn't have been able to have been found in any other traditional means. So I think it's really powerful that some youths are already channeling that apathy towards creating more data and more data effective solutions, so that when they go to the MP, to the MCA, they come with data. Yeah. Data is what's really important and good, and it creates this mandatory feeling for the leader to actually do right. When they see their photos, their videos of them being or some of the statements that they said previously, it creates that factor for they need to make better decisions, and it creates a really great sense of accountability. So I think for me is we need to channel that energy towards creating solutions to some of these great problems. But yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I believe that the problem in this country boils down to lawlessness, failure to stick to the rule of law, and and I think if we can work on that, we'll be able to have the youth take part in democratic processes. We'll be able to have leaders being held accountable, and most of these problems, our frustrations, will disappear.
Yes.
We just need to stick to the rule of law.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Just my parting shot will be, we are all Kenyans, okay? Yeah. Despite urban, rural, marginalized area, take it upon yourself, okay? It sounds very cliche to say change is you, but you're the change you want to see, okay? Take it upon yourself. Find out what are they actually saying. Do not just take these social media hashtags and run with it, you know? Some people are actually very angry and they do not understand why they are angry. So take it upon yourself. Learn about the constitution, learn about how this should work, learn about your rights, the privileges of these leaders and all that, okay? And then another thing, when you call your cousin from Ushago, stop asking kama kumenyesha. Ask them, oh, kama hiyo barabara ya huko bado iko venye ilikuwa. You get? Ask some serious questions. Involve these people. Because all of us, you're a representative of someone, you know, back there. So if it has not reached to them, if maybe the awareness is not as serious as great there, maybe include them. The next time you have a call with them, bring them on board on these matters. And sometimes those who are the disillusionment, you're discouraging other people who want to vote. Sometimes you don't plant a tree to enjoy the shade. It will be your children who enjoy the shade. It will be someone else, but you have to play your part, okay? So please, let's turn out, let's vote, and let's be educated. Sawa, let's vote on merit and not on any other dream to way to you are paid. You're going to sell your future for, I don't know, unga. Don't be like that. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.